Gobble, gobble, motherfucker!
They're eating her! And then they're going to eat me! Oh my god!
Estrogen levels peaking. It's like she's in heat.
When are you gonna grow up, man? Chicks love cars. If you want to get into their pants, you better have a nice, hot Ferrari.
She's my hot Ferrari. Besides, I love my Mustang, which is a plug-in hybrid. It gets 100 mpg.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Out of my eyes!
Welcome to episode 7 of SchlockTalk, mediating cross-cultural disputes by pointing and laughing at other people's crotches since 2013.
There's been a lot of girls who've been mediating about me lately.
So tonight's movie is a fantasy horror film, The Boxer's Omen, directed by Chi Hung Kwai from 1983.
God bless you.
An American?
Yes. So I'll get to the official movie intro. Why is that funny?
Paul is so drunk right now.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
No. I've only had a bottle of vodka.
Yeah. Paul is really
That
drunk.
was
This is
all
our
the
second
vodka he had.
podcast tonight, and there's
It is gone.
an entire bottle of vodka gone, and most of that is
And,
Paul.
and 2 beer cans empty in front of him.
I like to think back to a simpler time when international disputes erupted over relatively uncomplicated things like boxing matches, religious differences, and whether or not to turn on the black light before dropping acid. In a modern world full of terrorism, famine, and 20-something Disney starlets addicted to meth, I like to think the makers of The Boxer's Omen imagined a better place for all of us. Director Chi Hung Kwai seems to have realized that we cannot begin to hope that the UN will be able to litigate horribly complex multicultural disturbances if Thai wizards and Buddhist monks cannot come to an agreement on the decades-long struggle to figure out who would beat who in a fight between Rob Halford and Ozzy. I think The Boxer's Omen is best described thusly. Imagine, if you will, different Asian cultures as imagined by a teenage boy from 1983, whose only exposure to the Far East is based on his Rising Sun headband and the Sony Walkman he uses to listen to his Iron Maiden cassettes. You're not even scratching the surface.
I'm scratching something.
Now imagine that same teen goes on an angel dust-induced rampage, only to be ultimately shot by the police because he would not go down, even after being tased for the 7th time. And the cops are saying things like, "It was like he couldn't feel pain, man!" And let's say later you read in the paper that that same teen had run the equivalent of 2 marathons during that rampage, stopping once or twice to rape the occasional knothole. And it was later learned that during the autopsy, he did this with both his femurs broken, and that he'd also done so several hours after having cut off his own penis and mailed it special delivery to his grandmother. But had still managed to ejaculate during those knothole rapes. Then you might just be getting a little bit closer to how insane The Boxer's Omen really is.
I gotta say that I understood that far more than I understood The Boxer's Omen. That makes sense.
Never before has Gabe's synopsis made total sense and harmonized with this actual movie.
And I should add, I got dibs on that kid's Uriah Heep jean jacket, because that shit is fucking sweet.
Now you're messing with her.
I don't know them. I just need to
Son of a bitch.
So,
With us, Nazareth.
Paul is our resident metalhead. You know, right out of the gate.
Yeah, metal plate in the head.
Thanks, Gabe.
You know, right out of the gate, I thought, I don't know who made up this kooky Martian language, but I can't read these credits.
Thanks, Gabe. Times 2.
So, Boxer's Omen opens on a Thai boxing match, and we know that shit is not on the level because Bolo Jung is in the ring. I kept expecting him to throw sawdust in someone's eyes, Bloodsport style, but disappointingly he did not.
And no one threw a Hadouken or a Shoryuken or a Hadadadada.
I kept waiting for somebody to set a stool in the corner so that the neck would be broken.
Why is $1 Million Baby suddenly tied into this movie?
There was no one who looked like Hilary Swank at all in this movie, Paul. How do you even make that inference?
No, I think the dead Abbott kind of looked a little bit like Hilary Swank, actually.
He had her lips.
He did have the beef jerky face.
He had her rib bones.
Yes. What Bolo does do in this movie is a secret neck kick while the ref is not watching, and he nearly kills his opponent. Everyone in the audience comes into the ring, and I had to wonder, based on the hairstyles, everyone who jumps in, did Marco Polo discover feathered hair on his trip to the Orient?
The world is flat, by John Stamos.
You want to finish that thought, Paul?
No, that's where it stopped.
So we learned that the guy who got neck kicked is Chen Wai, and Bolo plays someone named Babo, which is like an actor whose real name is Chad, playing a character named Ched.
Okay. Do you remember the original? You remember the original Hawaii Five-0?
Yeah.
No,
okay, it was so great. And yeah, you're not that old. Few people are.
You know, Paul, when I was like 8 years old coming back from fucking school, that shit would be on right before the Disney fucking afternoon. That's how old you are.
Okay, in the credits of the original Hawaii Five-0, it would say Zulu as Kono and Kono as Zulu.
What does that mean?
I don't know, it's old people jargon.
Dude, it was like two actors playing
each other.
Yeah, it was insane.
So we find out that the Chen Wai who got neck kicked is paralyzed and in the hospital. The scene then switches to our main character, Chan Hung, who is meeting... who's meeting with some of his triad brothers, and he agrees that he will go and meet with a new gang that he says does not respect the old organized crime traditions. And he agrees to meet with them alone at 1 a.m. at a construction site. There seem to be several things wrong with this plan, but hey, he's the expert. So when he gets to the construction site, he finds out that his uncle Key has been chopped up in a burlap sack, and the gang attack Hung, and they have him tied up by his feet and holding him upside down, and they intend to dip his head in what appears to be a bucket full of horse semen.
Semen, salt water, I don't know. It looks salty, I'll tell you that.
Not to mention, but the guy who hung meats, he's like, "You came here alone?" He's like, "Yeah, I did all the time."
No, he said, "I always come here alone." What the fuck? Right as the spotlight.
Well, that was his that's like his masturbation spot.
No, seriously, like this guy who's dressed up like all freaking 1920s or whatever, suspenders and fucking like, I don't know, coal miner's cap, or
Newsies.
like, yeah, Newsies cap like Alan's got on right now, right? Show him the shot, okay? And, you know, he's just telling him, "Oh, you come here alone?" And he's like, "I come here alone all the time." And bam, spotlights are on. Chorus line comes out.
It's not just spotlights. Yeah. It's like movie theater spotlights, like Craig pointed out. They're not normal, like, bay lights for storage.
Exactly. It's not like some hanging light. It's a freaking spotlight at the High School Musical, okay?
Broadway shows have less spotlights.
Yes, Broadway show lights.
Yes, it makes that boom sound coming on. The chorus line descends from ropes, and all of a sudden it's like one beautiful sensation.
No.
Stick up to your head.
The soundtrack is by Bono and the Edge.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Why is U2 suddenly being defamed in this movie?
Bono, is that like another old person joke?
So, as Hung is hanging upside down...
He was hung. Hung was hung.
Yes, he was.
Oh.
And not in the good way.
He has a vision of some sort of a Buddhist deity who I can only guess is the Chinese patron saint of male lactation, because he appears to be geysering out of his nipple.
This guy is like a sprinkler.
He has like poodle tails suspended from his fucking ears. I don't know what the hell is going on.
But they're using the same filter as the wizard from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And you know what it helps is that this movie is filmed in 2 different languages, apparently, that they play on the same soundtrack.
Oh, that's so
yeah, it's
everything
so
you
convenient.
hear.
If you watch the YouTube version, which is all you're going to find unless you actually want to pay for this movie.
Pay for this fucking movie.
You should buy it. But if you watch it on YouTube, there's two different languages playing at the same time. It makes it almost unwatchable.
Yeah, this guy he's pretty much like...
What?
Which guy?
He's pretty much like silence.
You know, he's like any other guy that you'd meet, and you'd be like, "Hey, guy."
He's that guy.
He's the last airbender with poodle tails suspended from his ears all day.
He's like Jim Bailey. He's a stalker at Target. He's been working there for 2 weeks. You know, his mom just found out that she has breast cancer.
I don't know what's going on.
His dad got laid off after working for...
Apparently goes to Buddha.
He was a salesman for Sears, and he got fired because he got the black lung. I don't fucking know.
Alan's eyebrows.
Cousin Jimmy, who worked in the coal mine.
And then he's wondering, why did I get the black lung? I just work at fucking Target.
It was Black Friday.
Oh!
Wow, Gabe's joke
suck,
number
dude.
3.
Oh,
and now
my
they turn
God.
into Paul jokes.
All right.
And so the Buddhist guy
Buddhist
saves
sprinkler systems.
the Buddhist lactation, saves Hung, and he goes back to his rockin' 80s Hong Kong condo.
If this guy was
Oh, but hold on a
watering the
second.
lawn, he wouldn't miss a spot.
He mystically stuns everyone in the room with like a mystical flash bomb.
Of mist.
He has
Of
a magic
mist. And
filter
he's like,
ring around
he's
him.
like, Hung, I need to talk to you. I need your help. And this guy's like, well, thanks for saving me, but fuck no, man, I'm running out of here.
Look,
Like, why wouldn't you be like, I just saw some mystical shit. Alex, like, I need to stay here
no,
for
no,
a
no,
second.
no. If lactating Buddha appeared to you, you'd be fucking taken off too. Believe me, you wouldn't be sticking around.
I'd shave my head so fast.
I didn't
Well,
run.
apparently, I guess I did a lot of acid before I came to confront another mafia lord.
Yeah.
Maybe
I do
should
that all the
get
time.
Unarmed by myself.
Maybe I should get the fuck out of here before, when I think I'm fist fighting the guy, I'm actually blowing him.
So back in his condo, Hung's girlfriend is hanging out there, and during this scene, there's like a nipple out of nowhere.
Side boob.
Yeah, and he can't handle himself, and so he and his girlfriend start having el sexo, and he's banging her from behind, and I just felt like the director was making a comment on the appropriation of Asian culture, but... Wait a minute, hold on. I misread that. I'm sorry, he was making a comment about tits.
God bless the man.
But
Everyone, fans of SchlockTalk, this is our gift to you.
Yes, this is one of the greatest movie scenes of all time.
Tits against glass.
Tits against glass. There's something about tits against glass that makes it better. Tits against glass.
It's the
I
presentation.
can't resist it. It's like, imagine like just pushing
And there's-
marshmallows against someone's window, and,
And-
they're just like, "Oh, I know those are
With a
marshmallows.
raisin in the middle.
I know those are marshmallows, and they're delicious."
And just like,
But then there's rain on the other side of the window.
I know, and just like Ichi the Killer, I left my gift on my dining room table. Dripping onto my floor for someone else to fucking clean up.
It's a good thing you have cats.
Oh.
So
Cats
so,
like milk.
So Hung and his biatch, they go to bed,
So hung in his biatch.
Yeah.
That's great.
and they wake up in the middle, and he wakes up in the middle of the night, and he sees a glowing yellow letter floating in the air, which he follows into the bathroom, and I think this must be how Asians know that they have to go pee.
I'm pretty sure that was his living room, but after Alan's comment, I can see where the mistake comes
For
in
our
him.
listeners that happen to be in the military, that is the private second class rank in the army.
Yeah, it's an upside down V.
It was a call to patriotism for him.
Damn those Asians and their second-rate privates.
I don't know what the fucking rank looks like for a private second class in the Chinese military. It's probably another one of their fucking symbols, but that's a fucking American rank sign right there. So they wanted him to be an American patriot.
That's too deep for me,
Thank
man.
you for that tangent out of nowhere. I feel less educated by the second.
I keep expecting to hear a hawk cry in the distance. So waiting for Hung in the bathroom is Saint Male Lactation.
Saint Male Lactation.
And Saint
I wasn't in this movie.
And old SML tells him he needs to go see his brother in the hospital.
SML.
And so Hung goes to see his brother, Y, who was the boxer injured by Bobo.
Wait. Why is because
Played
he
by
was
Baba?
the guy Bobo?
Who's on third?
I don't know.
He's on first.
And so while he's at the hospital, we learn a cool little fact that when you're in traction in a Hong Kong hospital, they try and make you feel better by dressing you up like a ninja.
Yes, I couldn't believe that. I saw that. I'm like, oh my god, that poor guy is in the ninja intensive care ward.
I thought it was Make-A-Wish.
Make-A-Wish for dying ninjas? He failed the climactic battle against his clan rivals.
Here you go. Here's some stars.
His last wish was to taste the blood of his enemies. Was it Shadow Storm from G.I. Joe?
Yeah, Storm Shadow, but yes.
I like to think that he was just like dying from fucking leukemia or some shit.
Oh shit, Joel. You are random as fuck today.
So Wide tells Hung that he wants him to go to Thailand and fight Babo. And the initial shot,
Why Hung Babo?
When we switched to Thailand, I got really excited because they appear to be showing the world's largest pair of chopsticks. But it turns out it's some sort of lame artifact that's like valuable and important to Thai culture, some bullshit.
Yeah, it's probably some
Barf.
cheesy sculpture that some other country sold off as like an artifact.
I think it was a bridge that was just put really too high over the street. I don't really know.
This is the London Bridge.
So Hung goes to a press conference, and Babo is there, and Hung challenges him to a fight, and they agree that he'll fight Babo in the ring in 3 months back in Hong Kong. And then we'll get into a fight at the press conference, too.
That was slap fight, might I mind you. They were slapping each other's faces, not throwing punches and knees like we saw at the beginning of this praised movie, but slapping each other.
I mean, think about it, though. If you get slapped and you don't slap them back, you look like such a bitch.
Right? Wait, if you get slapped, you look like a bitch.
Yeah, but if you get slapped and you slap them back, you're not the bitch then, because you're like, nah, motherfucker, that's not how this works.
No, technically, you just entered into a bitch fight at that point in time, so I don't think you save any face that way.
It's only
you
a
don't
matter.
slap back, you punch back.
You punch
slap,
back.
And then it's a punch in the face, because when they're knocked out, they can't slap you back.
SchlockTalk listeners, this is etiquette. If you get slapped, you have to punch back.
And folks, I like to think that the director called cut after he reciprocated said slap, because it was only a matter of time before there was hair pulling and there was purse stomping going on.
And
this shit would have got real.
Well, I think somebody's earring was pulled out.
One of them called each other the C word. It got real.
Twat.
So while Hung is kind of hanging around Thailand,
Hung is hanging around again.
Yes, Hung is hanging.
Do I catch a theme?
I wonder how he stores his jackets in the closet. Do you suppose he puts it on a hanger?
He's hung, so he's just gonna curves up naturally.
Yeah. Maybe he hangs them on a hook.
He sees a Buddhist temple with the same symbol he saw floating in his house a few nights before, and he goes inside.
It wasn't a symbol; it was their roof.
Well, whatever.
He saw their roof.
I know, he saw the
mystical vision.
It wasn't even the roof. It was like the gutters.
This episode of The Boxer's Omen is brought to you by the upside down letter V.
Part of the building's facade.
It's brought to you by Bob's Gutters.
And so he goes inside and he sees the lactation guy from earlier in the movie. And now we learn that he's not only the god of male lactation, but also of irritating banging noises.
Oh my god, how long did they have to play that fucking banging kettle? It was like this weird kettle sound.
Like seriously, like there was like Brother Chang, and Brother Chang was born with like fucking Down syndrome or something like that. And he just bangs pots on the freaking steps all day.
He was the
like,
director's
oh, it's okay
brother,
though. You know, he
had to have a part.
At least he can keep rhythm, right? You know, and it's so majestic. The first four, first four chimings of it, but after number 10,
majestic.
After number 10, I'm wondering why Boxer of said Boxer's Omen didn't box the shit out of every fucking monkey saw. Your fucking culture offends me.
So while Hung is at the temple,
Is it well hung or while hung?
While.
Okay.
So while hung was hanging at the
While
temple?
hung like a horse thief.
What game do you
Hanging
think?
Gardens. I don't know.
What's that game you play where you have to guess the letters?
Hangman.
You get a wrong letter.
Hangman.
You get a wrong letter. You have to draw the head and the body and the arm. What's that game called, Gabe?
I don't know.
I think it's called Guy Who's About to Be Killed by a Rope, right? Is there a shorter name for that?
Joel, you're way too close to my face, and you're like looking right at me. It's really, really uncomfortable.
You're in the bubble.
The more you say hung, the more excited he's going to get.
I'm looking at Paul now. Is there a shorter name for a guy who's going to be killed from a rope?
Hungman?
Hungman. There we go.
Asphyxiated?
That's the game.
No.
Asphyxiaman.
Asphyxiaman. Okay,
So,
back to the hungman.
while he's there,
Hanging.
he talks to the head monk of the temple.
They hung out.
And the monk, in flashback, we find out that about a year before, the abbot from the temple had gone to Hong Kong and killed a black magician by turning him into yeasty bread dough.
Okay, guys, listen. Black magician. The guy wasn't black. He was like some kind of fucked up voodoo Chinese priest.
We call it African American now.
Okay.
Come on, people.
Okay, let's get that out of the way.
Also, Gabe just glances over and just a flashback. No, this flashback encompasses like half of the movie.
This is a good chunk of the movie. Alan's got a point.
It was like a 15-minute flashback in where not the crazy shit, no, because the last half of the movie happens.
Yeah.
But the beginning
This
of
is
the
where it
crazy
starts.
shit happens.
Yeah.
And, you know, the guy's like, his skin starts boiling off and bubbling, and it's barely hung on his body.
Would you say it was just hanging
It
by a
was
thread?
barely hung on his body at the end of it. It was melting off.
So after the black magician has his skin bubble, then turns into an old woman, and finally a bat flies out of him, because that seems like a normal and logical series of events.
Not just a bat, but like a fucking finger puppet bat.
And the way,
Seriously.
the way
This
that,
bat is made out of like pipe cleaners and fuzzballs
yes.
with googly
Yeah,
eyes.
seriously. It's like, hey, Jim Henson, you're a master puppeteer. I want you to do some work on the set, but you don't have to do shit. Okay? There's a finger puppet. Give me your finger puppet.
Here's $5. Go to Michael's.
They found the guys who got fired from Sinbad and the Seven Seas
A bat
to work
finger
their
puppet
animatronics angle.
freaking works its way out of his mouth. Supposedly he must have entered through the anus. And he just fucking chewed his way through the other side.
That happened once.
That's a safe assumption.
And he flies right at the monk who was hanging out there specifically to capture him.
Yeah, correct.
What's that about?
Was he hanging?
He was hanging out.
He was kind of special.
Did you
like,
say he was hung?
He did hung out. Yeah, he hung out there.
So the abbot catches the bat, and he puts him in his pocket. We then see the inside of a different African-American magician's lair, and it looks like...
Wow!
You fucking added to the shit. I just clarified for the viewers. When we say black magician, we mean Chinese voodoo priest, not African American. We're not talking about like their skin is fucking black.
Okay.
It's not black, it's African
Okay,
American.
Chinese Wiccan. Just fucking say Chinese Wiccan.
Okay.
That'll offend Wiccans.
Oh, that would seriously offend Wiccans.
Because
I don't think
Why do you
Wiccans
make the Wiccans
cut
go?
open alligators.
You know,
I won't
Alan,
finish.
all Wiccans look the same to me.
Jesus.
So I just want to say
People won't hear that
these
either.
are technically people from Thailand. They're not Chinese. I think that should probably be said as well.
to our Chinese and Thailand audience, black magician. Okay, you know what we were talking about.
So we see the inside of the magician's
They're
lair.
black like Emmanuel is black. It's just the way it goes.
And it looks like he spends most of his money on plastic spiders and hand chairs. And the abbot goes back to his temple and he straight up murders this poor little bat because apparently Buddhism.
You gotta explain how he murders the bat, though. That's so awesome.
Go ahead.
It's a good scene.
He has a hammer and a knife, and he passed them with his magic feather duster a few times to enchant them. And then he pins this little bat down in this circle of voodoo runes.
That's how I kill spiders.
All while he's banging on things and chanting.
Yes,
Yes.
The retarded cousin is still in the background banging things. Well, he takes the knife, plants it in the bat's chest and hammers the knife into the chest because he doesn't have the upper arm strength to push the knife down himself.
To our more ambitious listeners, you may have noticed that SchlockTalk has moved from the rape theme to the animal mutilation theme. This is quite true, because this is only the first scene of animal mutilation.
And so, back at the evil magician's lair, the bad guy revives the bat skeleton, and this is the first of several inadvertently cute animals that this guy apparently controls.
I love that by bringing him back to life, he spits blood on the broken statue. Yes. What was he yelling? It was something equivalent to booyah.
Or revive, right?
Booyah! It's just not spit bloods. He's got these jars stacked up on a fucking shelf, okay? I mean, there's like a fucking dozens of these fucking jars. And he just happens to freaking know from fucking memory that in this one jar, there's a fucking chicken just chilling out. Just minding its own business.
No, this wasn't the chicken. This was the rats.
Was it the rat?
The chicken comes later.
The chicken comes later, okay. It was a freaking rat just chilling out, minding his own shit, sitting on top of probably 3 inches of his own shit because he's never been out of that motherfucker. Who knows if he's been fed. Pulls the rat out, fucking rips its head off, sucks its blood, and spits it on the bat and is screaming, "Booyah! Booyah!" All the while rocking another pimp stash. He had a fucking mustache. People writing our fan theories for our movies, there's also a mustache theme going on here.
You know, I gotta say, Joel, you're rocking your own mustache. It's getting pretty damn close to going into this.
Yeah. I'm telling you,
I'm appreciative
there's
of
a
that.
calling right now. I'm just hoping that calling is not fucking Chinese voodoo priest.
I'm thinking gay trucker is kind of the word you're working at right now.
I was thinking 70s cop.
I'm not blonde enough.
I was going for porn star.
I like porn star.
Gay porn star.
Trucker working his way up to porn star.
Yeah, I drive them big ribs, but on the side I suck me some penis.
10-4.
Because that dick was 10 inches long and 4 inches wide, if you know what I mean.
Truck stop, dick rock.
Jiminy Christmas. So,
oh God, I'm sorry.
The evil magician seems to be a strange combination of Iron Maiden cover art and Hello Kitty.
That's fair.
Oh,
that's fair.
That is a really clever assessment.
It's fair and reasoned. Thank you.
Oh.
You know, it was weird. Was he like fucking sleeping in a bat mask or some shit like that? Because he like appeared in a bat mask and kind of glided or whatever or some shit.
So the evil magician, he revives the bat.
Oh,
and the
best scene in the movie, by the way, coming up here.
The bat skeleton is
better
about
than tits on glass.
Is about to.
That's your opinion.
The bat skeleton is about to stagger out of the temple and escape, and the abbot, the good guy, mind you, straight up Donkey Kong hammers this little fella into the ground.
Seriously. He's swinging his hammer around like Joel's singing. Up and down, up and down, up and down like Mario.
And you feel so bad because you see this little tiny bat skeleton running away in the worst animatronic way possible. Looks back over his shoulder, and suddenly this fucking crazy ass monk comes barreling out with a hammer.
You can feel his fear.
You can.
Yeah.
And
you
after
can smell it.
And after the 400th blow of that hammer, the little bat skeleton twitches.
Yeah.
And this powder twitches.
How insecure do you have to be to fucking pulverize a cute, retarded bat skeleton that's slowly staggering away?
Like a wind-up toy.
At 1 inch per fucking minute.
It's clearly made by the cheapest clay from a 5-year-old.
And we say hammer, but this is like a circus strongman mallet he's waving around.
Yeah,
no,
like a Donkey
meat
Kong hammer. Like a Donkey Kong mallet.
Yeah,
like the
serious Mario with the fucking Donkey Kong hammer. That's what it was.
So the evil magician, then he gets some cobras out of the rows of jars he has on his shelves, and he milks the snake venom. And at this point, I'm beginning to think this movie is not really about boxing.
Right, there was boxing in this movie.
What was your clue?
The beginning did throw the theme off for me a little bit there.
Was it when the boxing scene ended after 5 minutes through the movie? And now we're about half an hour in?
So I just want to say about this evil magician, my first thought it was that he clearly plays bass in Asian Judas Priest. But the more I thought about it, I think this guy is really Ronnie James Dio.
I have no fucking clue what was just said right there. for everyone we offended prior to this.
So no one's listening, so it doesn't really matter.
So anyways, Ronnie mixes the snake venom with a brain inside a skull, which produces a green liquid that he then gives to his spiders, who drink it with tiny little straws.
That was awesome.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Sit down, they suck up the poison.
God.
I watched this movie
If
with
they were
Alan, and
Benny
you could have
straws,
seen
it'd be
the
better.
outrage on his face.
I was screaming at the scene. In fact, I was screaming so loud that my youngest daughter came downstairs and was like, "Can you please be quiet?"
Yeah, that's right. I remember this.
Because I woke her up.
And I
That's right, I remember this.
Daddy, I realized the spiders are...
Well, no, you can hear him come down the
Seriously.
stairs, and so all you hear is me screaming, and then all of a sudden, "No, don't come down here! No!" And then I'm right there going, "What do you need? What do you need? Please go to bed."
Alan was just like seriously like seconds away from putting a lispy blog on Facebook. Dumbest movie ever. Spiders do not have straws, okay? They have fangs. They're technically called mandibles. I am outraged. I am offended. The Asian lack of understanding of arachnids is offensive. Do not watch this movie.
I was upset. I was that upset.
And I just have to ask, why are the Lord of Oriental Darkness's pets all so freaking adorable anyway?
I don't know. It's their red, bulgy,
I think it's
cute
because
little
they're made
eyes.
out of pipe cleaners and puffballs.
The
there
stuff
is-
your kids would make in a kindergarten art project.
There is a childlike quality to these structures that makes them endearing.
Didn't they have googly eyes glued to them?
Plus, while they're sucking up the liquid, it's obvious that the liquid is just they poured the liquid out through the straws, and they're just playing the tape in reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just thought, these spiders think they're people. You're not people, spiders. You're spiders.
Silly spiders.
Actually, you're a cheap arts and crafts product made up to look like spiders.
And so, one other thing I noticed at this point was that Ronnie James Dio has some sort of religious symbol on his forehead or a very, very badly infected mosquito bite. I couldn't tell the difference.
I thought he was
Seriously.
just pissed over a permanent zit he had installed there that no one had popped for him earlier in life.
And so, the evil magician takes the spiders to the Buddhist temple, and apparently to get revenge on a Buddhist abbot, you have to have brain cobra venom to stab a Buddhist abbot in the eyes, and I felt this really filled a knowledge gap for me.
This is common knowledge, Gabe.
Oh, yeah, see, I was out of the loop on this one.
I just now know that if I ever want to fuck with a Buddhist, I'll just go smoke pot and go away.
And we learned that because the abbot was poisoned in the eyes, he can now not achieve more immortality.
Lucy, you're forgetting the best part. The freaking black wizard, black being
African
voodoo.
American.
Voodoo, shut up, Craig, voodoo. Freaking, like, imagine if Spider-Man could stick to the wall by humping the freaking surfaces he was trying to scale.
That's right, yes.
He just, like, fucking does this, like, humping, wiggling thing or whatever, and he kind of goes up, and he just freaking hangs over, you
just
know,
hung?
Well,
the
if you do
freaking
it right-
Abbott, like some kind of crazy stalker Edward from Twilight shit.
If you do it right, you create enough suction.
Wait. How does your dick suck on things?
No, spiders.
I want to know this shit, man. 'cause
If you
this
have
is
a
freaking
very
gonna be
small
impressive.
shaft, but an enormous tip,
See, spiders cling to walls because of the little hairs on their feet, so I can only imagine that guy was as furry as Robin Williams. He had the mustache. Clearly, he had more hair, body hair, than the
Robin
average
Williams
Asian.
back.
So I just want to stop the synopsis right here. You know, we see a ton of movies here at SchlockTalk where literally nothing fucking happens. And here's a quick recap of what has transpired so far in Boxer's Omen.
Do tell.
Boxing match, broken neck, feathered hair, horse sperm,
What?
male lactation, boobs, world's biggest chopsticks, cute bat, brain venom, eye stab. We're exactly 28 minutes and 45 seconds into this movie, and all that shit has already happened.
What about spiders?
Whoa.
This sounds like every other movie we've ever watched.
What about
Michael Bay
Broadway
just
production
fucking
in
walk
LA?
away. Your fucking Transformers Episode 4 has shit on this. Boxer's Omen was made before that crap, and it just fucking raped you.
And so we learned that Saint Lactation is the abbot who saved Hung earlier in the movie, and his dead body is preserved in the temple, and it communicates telepathically with Hung.
is it dead yet?
It's
I thought
not
he was,
dead.
I thought he wasn't dead. He was just not able to eat or drink anything. He was just like in a comatose state. His body was just rotting away slowly.
His body was preserved, and if it was decomposing, and when
the thought was if the body was decomposed when they looked at it again, they were to cremate him. And if the body was okay, they were to take revenge in the Buddhist fashion.
Yeah, it was really weird. See? Everybody watched it, and everybody has their own interpretation of this crazy shit. It is not clearly spelled out.
The abbot...
Buddhist revenge.
Buddhist revenge.
Buddhist revenge.
Whoa. Hey, Alan, do me a favor. Can you please Google Buddhist revenge and see what we pull up? Thank you. Be a dear.
4 pages.
Wasn't Revenge of the Buddhist supposed to be the 3rd Star Wars film title?
Yeah.
And if the first fucking hit is not incredibly fucking awesome, I'll eat my hat. I don't wear a hat, but I'll eat my hat.
I do know that Buddhists believe that there's different paths to heaven, and that you could have a path of warrior to heaven, and you could also get, not heaven, but
Nirvana.
And you could also get a path to heaven by being a baker and being the best baker. So you could get there through different paths. So maybe
Craig can get to heaven by being the best fluffer in Hollywood.
I am there already, boys. I tell you what.
Wow. You're guaranteed a seat.
Google that, too.
Actually, someone else will be in the seat. I will be on my knees.
And not just Buddhist revenge, revenge in the Buddhist fashion. That's what I want you to type into Google right now.
Buddhist.
Yeah, everything always says no revenge next to it.
Clearly, this movie has broken away from boundaries and traditional in the box thinking. I like this movie right now.
They say that those who take revenge lack humility.
Or a good scriptwriter, possibly.
Or someone who knows what the fuck Buddhism is.
So the abbot communicates telepathically with Hung, and he tells him that when his body is done decaying, that Hung will die as well.
Wait. You have to mention the most priceless fact of this. The reason this will happen is because they were twins in a past life. This was the thread that connected them. Limp dick shoulder pads, illegitimate son, and the abbot's son of Buddha were twins in a previous life. That shit's important.
In that shitty voice with the banging.
We were twins in a previous life.
Bong,
Do not pull the gold flakes and shit off my face.
And so Hung goes back to his hotel, and he has a dream that he throws up an eel into the toilet.
Was that a dream?
I thought it was real.
The way it hung out of his throat.
I tell you, it felt real.
Gabe, what's that thing that you get when you clip your nail too short?
Pain?
What's that called again?
Hangnail?
Paul! Gabe almost figured it out.
Why do you have to make Gabe look so stupid, Paul?
Thanks, Paul.
Very bad.
Me
You
making
stole
Gabe
the
look
answer
stupid?
You're
Makes Gabe look stupid.
You are such
Yes, it does.
You are such a teacher's pet.
And so
Go hang out in the corner.
because he throws up an eel, he decides that this causes him to decide to become a monk, and the people decide to throw a parade with him, and there's some very jaunty dancing at this point in the movie.
Why is there a parade?
I don't know.
Why
Jaunty?
It's jaunty.
They celebrate the ex-Yakuza member shaving his head.
This is also another insanely long scene of him becoming a monk. And becoming a monk.
And becoming a monk. And becoming a monk. And becoming a monk.
Was he becoming a monk?
Oh, and becoming a monk!
I think he just liked to bathe with leeches. I don't know.
There's that scene where he's like, you must be patient. Learn to be still. And then, like, after 4 seconds of going, ow, they're biting me, he's like, all right, get out of the water. It's like,
Yes.
I just wanted to fuck with you. Really was nothing in there.
Yeah, we are treated to a montage of fucking Buddhist monk reindeer games.
Yes.
Like, I'm glad this guy was accepted into that fraternity.
Yeah.
And so the scene then switches to this weird Buddhist swastika ceremony where he's like,
That was
No,
a super
Alan.
It was
swastika.
the octo swastika.
yes.
It was the freaking ultra swastika.
Yes.
Hitler had finally perfected the super soldier, and that was the symbol they had on their fucking sleeves.
Yeah, so imagine a swastika,
Super
add
Aryan
another
voice.
swastika, and tilt it at a 45-degree angle, so you have 8 swastikas just fucking everywhere, swasticating the shit out of everything.
It was a bad day to be a Jewish monk.
Yeah, every Jewish monk shit their pants in that fucking very moment.
The swastication was out of the fucking room. It was crazy.
Sorry, every Jewish Buddhist monk.
So Brother Hung, who he's now called, which is a name I want to have sometime in the future.
But you never will.
I never will. Brother Hung is inserted into an eggshell. Yep. It has Chinese or Chinese or whatever type of writing they have.
Craig, would your name be Brother Inverted?
Brother smaller than my thumb. That's what it comes down to.
Brother Baby Pinky.
Brother Rice Pants.
But the laser swastika converts on him, and suddenly he's got calligraphy written all over him.
Yeah, they've got ropes, and all the monks are chanting with the ropes that he's holding on to. And then the words on the inside start spinning in alternating directions.
Yeah.
And
the
I think
good thing is like I'm pretty sure when it was done, he would be the fucking last Airbender.
Yeah. So after half a scene of intense training and being infused with Hitler super soldiers, the eggshell breaks open and he is reborn as a mystic warrior.
And the apparent purpose of this ceremony was to cause his eyebrows to fall out. Because he loses his eyebrows at this point in the movie, too.
That's a side effect of the super Hitler serum.
And then he follows the swastika ceremony up by lighting the Buddhist menorah.
Yeah. Apparently it was Buddhist Hanukkah during that time.
Yep.
That's again bad news for the Jewish monks who happen to be there.
I'm so confused. I don't know. I'm so confused.
And
why does Hitler celebrate a Jewish ceremony?
Is he making fun of us?
I felt like it just goes to prove the old adage, the only person who can help us work out our differences is a Chinese triad former Thai kickboxer who becomes a monk to fight evil wizards and avenge his brother's neck being broken.
And to save his former past life twin brother. Let's not leave that out,
yes,
too.
Yes.
Somehow we managed to work soap operas in this movie.
Also to save his own life because the douchebag brother is promising to kill him when he decomposes.
So everyone, I want you to understand, having a twin brother in a past life really fucking sucks.
Yes.
Because it can kill you.
Because if that twin brother in a past life gets stabbed in the eyes with straws from creepy spiders from a serum made from weird brains and
spider venom, snake
venom. Oh my god!
Your life is in tatters, my friend.
And so the monk then goes to fight Asian Maiden, and this scene is the literal definition of batshit crazy.
In this scene, some great words are uttered.
Yes.
And it's
we can't understand any of them.
I know, but I'm going to say it in English because I can't. Lord of the Dark, grant power to these rice.
And so during the battle, the evil magician revives a herd of crocodile skulls. And well, let me correct that. Most people don't know this, but a herd of reanimated crocodile skulls is called a Donny Most of crocodile skulls. And a herd of reanimated alligator skulls is actually called an Anson Williams.
Yes,
of alligator
congratulations
skulls.
on freaking creating an enemy from the Atari Pitfall fucking game.
I like how he reanimates them too. He takes a chicken. This is the chicken scene that Joel alluded to earlier. He cuts the chicken on half and he dances around, prances around might be a better way to put it, shaking chicken blood on the skulls of these skeletons, causing them to reanimate like chattering teeth toys.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much what they were.
Yes.
And then the monk just sits there and lets them bite him.
When all he had to do was fucking just like Super Mario jump and stomp him on the fucking head.
And then
Can you imagine a less intimidating fucking enemy?
And the dumbest thing is to defeat these
ground
things,
pound.
He shoves candlesticks in their mouths.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Like the stupid
Three
crocodiles could just
Stooges
open up their
moment.
mouths a little wider and the candlestick wouldn't drop out.
Yeah.
But no, they rock around like they're stuck. And then he throws like the dead chicken away, and the crocodiles go after the chicken. Like, so the crocodiles want the chicken, or are they listening to the Dark Lord who wants to kill them all? What the fuck is going on?
But what you're missing, SchlockTalkians, is that the guy had this freaking awesome Lucha Libre face paint on the entire freaking time.
I guess what I'm hearing everybody say is this movie seems like it might be a little implausible.
That guy's painted to look up like a rape victim from Vulgar.
Yeah, a
And
little
so-
impossible. Also, at the end of this scene, there's a eating of entrails and vomiting and eating and vomiting and eating and vomiting.
Well,
and
We will see.
I like that after the skeletons go by, the evil clown-faced monk, or evil clown-faced magician, Iron Maiden Asian dude, picks up like a rock and just throws it at the monk guy, and suddenly the monk does like a 50 times backflip as he flies through the air.
But he also
Are they in the same room?
They're in the same room. I like to think that they're in the same room.
I like to think they're on a different plane of existence.
Yes.
Because
I agree.
the wizard dude has a moon behind him, and the monk guy is clearly within his temple.
Yeah.
So this is the astral plane where they're doing battle. I know I'm getting pretty,
But at one
Well,
point,
no, that makes a little bit more sense.
Craig is good on the fan theory, but I prefer to think that they were literally in the same room. Maybe just the director and the director of cinematography was just some lazy fuck. And maybe like this black wizard guy was sort of like video phoning his performance in or something from fucking, I don't know, Idaho. But I like to think that this guy truly was fucking incompetent, was physically making these stupid shitty miracles happen.
That's or they went over budget, can only afford half a temple.
We can't film in the entire temple.
well, and so after Hung defeats all of the crocodile skulls, the evil wizard flips him off too. He gets pissed and flips him off, right?
Maybe. I didn't remember
I
that.
don't remember that. Did he literally like stick the middle finger
He
up?
did. He
Oh,
did.
Whoa. Hey.
So
that's hardcore.
So the evil.
Oh, wow.
At this point,
I didn't know this movie went there.
Yeah.
I am offended.
That was one
offended.
step over a line that should not be crossed.
So the evil wizard summons what he says is the Lord of Darkness, and his main power seems to be secreting Pepto-Bismol.
Wait, was this the point where the Great Gazoo
He does flip him off.
appears?
Yes. Quite clearly, he
starts-
flips him off.
It's the
Yeah.
Great Gazoo who makes noises like
The Great Gazoo.
And the
That's
Lord
all he
of
does.
Darkness. The Lord of Darkness is totally adorable too.
So
by the way,
I know. We need a little chibi character of him.
What is it? The guy calls up a vomit pile of Pepto-Bismol, which appears to be a fucking prolapsed vagina, which gives birth to the Great Gazoo.
I think he looks like the brain from Pinky and the Brain.
I thought it looked like
mention what he
Chobani
had?
yogurt.
Did
What are we
you
doing
mention what he
today?
did before? Did you mention what he did before to summon the Great Gazoo?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so like, okay,
The
kids,
Great Gazoo.
kids, this message is for you. Don't fuck around with Chinese voodoo, okay? Just stay the fuck away from it. The spells are shitty, your friends are assholes, and the shit you have to do to conjure this fucking crap up is ridiculous.
There's a lot of regurgitation.
The guy fucking, I don't know, I don't remember what he what shit he shoved down his mouth. He vomited it out, scooped it back up, put it in his mouth, vomited it out again, scooped it back up a second time, vomited it out again, and scooped it up once again.
I'm pretty sure he ate the rectum of a horse to get his powers. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It looked like chicken entrails or some sort of bird entrails.
Correct. Kids, listen to me, okay? Don't get into this shit. I know you want to rebel against your parents. Just go with genital piercings or freaking, I don't know, work for a bank. Whatever you gotta freaking do, but
Don't
stay
work for a bank.
Whatever you
What
gotta do.
horrible advice.
Whatever you gotta do, stay with this shit. Now, kids, like, if this Chinese voodoo priest was a character class in World of Warcraft, just do that. Blizzard, do that crap. Listen to this podcast, do that crap, and see how many people freaking roll that character class. No one wants to be a freaking Chinese voodoo priest.
What? You don't want to be the class that eats its own vomit for evil?
I don't want to be the class that constantly fucking degrades itself and can't get fucking laid for supernatural powers that are super shitty on a Three Stooges level basis.
On
should
another
I be?
note, I
Regurgitator.
would be the sole Mancer that was being played on the
That's
World
awesome.
of Warcraft.
That's awesome. The Regurgimancer.
Regurgiment. What is the fucking appeal for this? How do you fucking recruit for the fucking black magicians?
Listen, man.
You don't have a good set of teeth, so you have people chew your food for you.
Fans of ejaculating in your own face and degrading your own humanity? We got
Up
the
with
fucking
you.
job for you. You want supernatural powers? Don't mind doing shit that'll fucking repulse the opposite sex? Come to the Black Magicians.
Hung defeats the Master of Dark or the Lord of Darkness, And at this point,
wait.
You're glossing
over the best part of the fight, my friend. He takes the Frankenstein needles, he punctures his neck.
No, wait. The Lord of Darkness is the little green guy.
Oh, well, by all means, Gazoo.
Yeah.
Then yes,
you call him the Great Gazoo. Come on.
The flying green spermie is killed just because he flexes his muscles at him really hard. Like, he puts them together in like the monk pose with the palms together, and then he just flexes those pecs. Oh! And the green little guy, his head explodes.
Yes.
That ab shaker you got for Christmas paid off like nobody's business.
In honesty, the Lord of Darkness's head looked like it was under a lot of pressure.
But
he was stressed.
God, I'm rendering service to this disgusting douchebag again. I just wish I'd just fucking die right now.
So the evil wizard makes his first truly questionable call of the movie. He cuts off his own head, and not at all surprisingly, this results in his being defeated.
Well,
I did not see that
cool.
coming.
Again, he takes knitting needles, he sticks them in the side of his neck. His head distends like the penis being chomped off in Father's Day, and then it rips forth. And he's got, like, dangling tentacles of doom coming out of him that he hovers over.
When your neck is like silly string,
that's a bad sign.
Did you see, like, Craig has got a point, though. His head comes off, it frickin' flies, and once again, kids, I'm telling you, these are shitty fucking powers. Freaking like
don't fall into this trap,
fucking
kids.
I don't know, tendons or some shit, and it starts to strangle our protagonist, Hung. His Hung is losing the fucking battle.
Hung is hanging by these fucking entrails.
Hung is entangled by his fucking tentacles.
And then, in the most disappointing moment in Japanese history, none of these tentacles go up his ass.
I'm telling you,
Japan,
when this thing premiered in Japan, every fucking person in the theater got up and left. There's nothing here for me.
It might be because it's Chinese or Taiwanese, but here we don't discriminate. All Asians are the same.
And here's where Joel's idea of it not being in the ethereal plane might have credence, because how was he defeated?
He tore off
the
his own head.
sun.
Oh yes, that's right.
That's right. He lasted.
Oh, your power! He's strangling him, and then the head that's floating in the air is like, "Oh God, the sun is coming out!" And then he tries to run away, and the monk grabs him and holds him to whatever pot is behind the monk and says, "You're not going anywhere!" And then he explodes because the sun hits the head. So sun kills evil.
Yep. And so Hung, having defeated the evil wizard, he goes back to Hong Kong, and his eyebrows grow back, and he can climb into the shower with his woman, with his underwear on no less, and have him a little more of the El Sexo.
Well, at least they were skin-colored underwear, so unless you were staring really hard at his genitalia, or lack thereof.
Sorry, just to go back, Alan had mentioned the point of the ethereal plane. It's true. He had to be there at the temple because the sun came out, because if he was in the safety of his parents' basement, he wouldn't have fucking been destroyed.
And then when he gets into the shower with the girl, you forgot she's also wearing bottoms.
Is she?
Well, oh, that's her bush. Fuck, that's huge.
Oh! I thought she fucking was bathing her poodle between her legs.
And so he tells
I thought it was the scene from The Jerk.
He just casually mentions to his girlfriend, "I have seen through the vanity of the world," and pretty much follows this up with, "I've been a monk for 3 months. Let's bang!"
Exactly.
She was still hanging around.
Yes.
Despite his disappearance.
I like the fact that she threatened to cut off his genitalia. Again, a theme that we've been seeing a bunch of lately. Because she was afraid he would give her 13 STDs, as I recall.
She goes, "Don't pass me STDs, or I'll castrate you." Yeah, I'm a passing to you, bitch.
Yes, as a fucking monk in a Buddhist temple, I'm fucking loaded with STDs.
Did you see the guy he fought?
Monks do nothing but have fucking awesome orgies, unprotected orgies, every goddamn day. That's why people are banging down the door to become monks.
Whole other story. Head tentacles up the ass would have made that a whole other story.
And she's still
failed moment.
She's still curious about the STDs because he jumps in the shower and she goes, "Wait, let me check." And that's when he goes, I've been a monk for 3 months, and then starts fucking her.
Well,
that's all it takes to convince her, like, oh, it's okay, he doesn't have STDs. He said he's been a monk for 3 months.
That's what I say to my wife.
That's funny, because when I do that to people at the bus stop, they fucking scream for the police.
To be fair, how much sex was going on when the guy doesn't even realize he has to take off his underpants? How long has it been?
Yeah.
Sad.
And so the movie goes back to Thailand, and we learn there are 3 new evil wizards, and they have the most disgusting meal in cinema history. Keeping in mind, I've seen pink flamingos several times. And they revive an evil goddess inside the carcass of a dead crocodile. And at some point during this whole part...
Well, let's talk about the meal.
Okay.
Okay, regurgitation?
Yeah.
Check. Yeah, remember.
Ugh.
So, Craig, let's test your powers of memory. What was the first thing he chewed up and swallowed, spit on a plate, and passed to the next guy to fucking do the same?
Oh, it was it wasn't it a globule of some sort of meat? No, it was the chicken asshole.
No,
wasn't
it wasn't the chicken asshole.
Can we, I'd like to preface this with the fact that this scene is uncut.
Oh, yeah, and prior to, stuffing... Oh, sorry, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. See, first there's like this fucking oubliette, and it's not just a goddess. I think there's a lot of fucking dead woman carcasses down in the fucking bottom of this bottomless pit. Because, I mean, seriously...
Because they pull out one of like 30 different
One
things.
of like... The top body stacked on top of
the top body, whatever.
Okay, remember, remembering,
what's wrong with that?
remembering my message, kids. Kids, remembering my message. This is not the freaking. You're not an Air Force pilot where your fucking pussy just is attracted to you. This is the one where you have to stalk pussy down, murder it, and fucking stow it in supernatural ways.
Air Force pilot, pussy magnet.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to say that the black magician is quite the opposite of a pilot. See, as a jet fighter pilot, you're freaking constantly bombarded by the opposite sex. As a black magician, the opposite sex is repelled from you, as if almost two particles with the same charge.
I got a joke.
Oh, please!
How do you know? How do you know if a fighter pilot's at a party?
How do you know?
He'll tell you.
Oh, I believe that. But so it's this oubliette that's filled with plenty of victims whose parents are probably still wondering where they are.
Gabe doesn't know a word. Gabe, break out the thesaurus.
What's
oubliette is a pit.
They crank them
where
out.
You throw people in where they cannot get out again. Why don't you know these things?
They crank them
surprised.
out.
I know the vocabulary you have.
Yeah. And the other 3 magicians who somehow seem to be signaled by the death of the shittiest 4th stooge. I don't know. These guys are like the fucking Gollum scouts, okay? Remember Gollum from Lord of the Rings? How pathetic he was? This is it. He's got a fucking scout troop. Scout Troop 178.
Scout troops?
Okay?
They got the lizard magician, the spider magician.
Gollum scout troop.
The fucking Gollum scouts, okay? And so they're just chilling out.
God.
They're just chilling out at the fucking...
I'm picturing the dead mother.
Yeah.
Don't buy those cookies, kids. Don't.
Kids, she's not living. I'm just telling you, okay? And so they're triggered by his freaking death or whatever. And I don't know, they just chill out at the freaking reptile exhibit at Disney World or some shit. Where the fucking gators are free to swim and fuck each other as much as they want.
Gator porn.
After a nice brief scene with crocodiles or alligators fucking, they choose, I don't know, the fucker or the fuckee. In which to stow said freaking body. Yes.
Pitcher or the catcher.
Yes. And so the guy, guy in the freaking short-ass running shorts chases down a crocodile and freaking wanting to chop its fucking ass with a fucking machete. They get it, somehow it's magically dead. They hoist it down on a crane, cut it the fuck open, which is our animal mutilation scene 2, unless there's any more in between I missed.
Victim number 2.
Still, it's a heinous mutilation scene, and they stuff the freaking dead chick tamale inside the freaking... It looks like she's in a fucking tamale, okay? They stuff it inside the crocodile and suture him shut like they're a fucking veterinarian. And then, only to freaking take out of the amazing power of movie magic to take this magical rape cake out of the oven,
rape cake,
crack her out of the crocodile covered in fucking flies, and pour water on her to reveal a majestic Asian with fake tits and cornrows.
It was really weird.
Yes, and from there, we have Gabe's aforementioned regurgitation scene.
I just want a golf clap for what Joel just did. That was fantastic.
Yay, Joel!
Wow.
No, but the regurgitation, I'm watching it. It is clearly a chicken asshole.
Yeah. Was it the first thing? Because I remember
it was the very first thing.
It was the very first thing.
He picks up a chicken. It's upside down. It's behind, like, oh my god. And he bites the asshole off the chicken. And chews it a couple times, spits it out, and hands it to the next person.
And see, Craig made a good point. Craig said...
It doesn't need salt. Yeah.
With a weird look on his face, needs salt.
Yes. He goes back to it, you know.
So, while all this is happening...
Oh, man. It's not cut, man. They cut it from the chicken asshole part, but there's some fruit in between, but they don't cut that.
They
he
spit it out,
spit in his mouth, hands it over.
Do we
in
mention
the mouth.
the banana scene?
Yeah.
You know, I want to just point out that these are the guys who found out that beaver anuses taste like vanilla.
These guys are these guys are the pioneers of artificial flavors.
The last person attacks the regurgitation mess like Scarface attacking cocaine.
Buries his face
in the plate. Like, that's the most delicious chicken asshole, banana, weird fruit thing he's ever had in his life.
I think they eat a durian in there, too, by the way. They do.
No,
and then when they're eating, like, the chicken tail, he makes a face like it tastes gross. He makes a face like it tastes gross!
Hence Craig's comment.
It needs salt.
The regurgitating?
Needs salt.
No, because they eat like a chicken anus right from a chicken, and then they cut the tail off a chicken and eat part of like a chicken tail.
And folks, pay careful attention. That anus was like pulsating a good 3 or 4 times prior to the knife slicing it free from
and then they take all that shit
ready to lay an egg,
and they shove it into cornrow lady's mouth. And you can tell she doesn't like it because she makes weird faces as they're doing it. She can't help.
I just want to say, folks, we're going to start a Kickstarter, and if we can get $60,000, we can have Entertainment Tonight interview the actress who played that chick.
None of this will happen.
I'd also like to point out that McDonald's actually invented the chicken McNugget shortly hereafter.
That is probably true.
So that's how you get the chicken so creamy.
God.
So I just want you folks to know that at every McDonald's,
if you've ever had creamy chicken
at
McNuggets,
every McDonald's, there is a Chinese voodoo priest in the back chewing chicken anus to make your delicious chicken McNuggets that you feed to your children.
I knew it!
You heartless parents.
Bastards!
And so while all this has been happening, Hung is preparing to box Babo back in Hong Kong, and his brother is still in traction, but does not appear to be in the slightest bit paralyzed because that ninja cosplay therapy clearly did the trick.
I know! He's jumping up and down in his wheelchair.
Yes.
He's wearing the world's worst dental retainer contraption on him, but that's the worst of it.
Really, with these things, it's all about your state of mind, and I think that the ninja costume has done wonders for his self-esteem.
They say laughter's the best medicine. People would come in there and just laugh at him.
Yes.
He's healed.
And the evil goddess that the black magician have revived.
Oh, and another thing that sucks about being a black musician, you have to get rid of your bugles and stick them on some dead chick's freaking fingertips. What kind of shit deal is that?
So the evil goddess goes back to the temple and she poisons the abbot's eyes again, which causes Hung to become blinded during the boxing match.
By this point, why isn't the abbot wearing some kind of like safety goggles or some shit? Would that not make sense?
Why haven't they locked his fucking ass in a safe? He doesn't like he fucking cares.
He winds up winning the boxing match, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, after
by flailing around,
after getting
blindly,
the
freaking
shit kicked
Bolo
out of
or
him.
whatever, freaking just like makes him his bitch. And it's funny because when he's fucking blinded, he seems to like look through goddamn binoculars.
Yeah.
Because whenever I look at anyone, it's got the fucking binocular silhouette around people.
Well, I'm pretty sure
like binoculars with nothing but worms.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he sees maggots in the mirror.
He channels Jean-Claude Van Damme during the Kumite.
Yeah.
And he suddenly comes back and kicks the guy who
Same guy
Jean-Claude
from the
Van Damme
Kumite
kicked his ass. The same
Yes.
guy. over the side of the ring, and thus ends the match in a victory for blind brother Hung.
And so Hung goes back to Thailand, and he goes through a ceremony because he wants to get healed, right? Is that what
he flees back to the temple, asking the assistant abbot. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, head monk.
The monk who gives head.
The head monk.
Well, at least he's hung.
So Gabe, in the summertime, my friend is really talking me into do this shit, but we basically run off a cliff and we glide across this chasm until we land safely. What's that called?
The squirrel suits?
We're just chilling out.
Tanuki.
Hang gliding.
Hang gliding.
Yes.
Okay.
When you're done, you've just hung glided, I think is what it comes down
Oh,
to.
done with hung glided.
But Hung becomes cursed during the ceremony because he banged his girlfriend, and he lies about it.
He lied
Did
to
you
Buddha.
Did you say he was hung out to dry?
He was.
He ended the first. He ended the first day of Buddhist Hanukkah.
See, there was like
he
that.
lied.
I don't know what we can call it, but Gabe, you probably got a fancy schmancy vocabulary word for it. While Hung is boxing, we are also flashing to scenes of the monks putting gold spearmint gum wrappers on top of the abbot. Transition, okay? So there's this parallel story going on. While the monks are putting these gold leaf shits on top of the abbot, hoping to make him immortal, the boxer's boxing, and Bugle Fingers, goddess, freaking stabs him in the eye.
Right.
And the monk loses his freaking awesome gold plating.
Okay.
And then Hung is also going down.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And so, like, it was kind of, the whole emphasis that they were twins in a previous life kind of thing.
I get the feeling this will not have the same golf clap that went along with the last exposition that Joel.
So you're asking me what?
I'm saying.
Come up with a word
What's
for
the
this?
word that describes
What's
this?
a word to describe
juxtaposition?
Got it.
Transcendental bullshits is my phrasing.
So Hung and the head monk go to a giant Buddha head, and they extract the essence of iron from a mushroom.
Hey, you're forgetting, everything, all the awesome events leading up to this. So these Buddhist monks live this incredibly shitty freaking life where they're dunking themselves in leech pools.
Yeah.
And they're always constantly freaking praying. They gotta wear nothing but a freaking orange schmuck, but you know what? They get awesome fucking speedboat rides. Awesome speedboat rides, dude. Awesome speedboat rides on every fucking dirty river in Thailand. Seriously, is Thailand like a really dirty country? That's all I think of. That's all I see in Thailand. Is dirty fucking rivers and dirty houses.
They have a gold Buddha statue that could probably feed the country for 17 years hanging out in this temple. And outside, you got guys that look like, poor Ethiopians sitting around looking for their latest food handout. But, the monks are okay with that shit. They're going to Nirvana.
Hey, they're holy.
And of all these freaking scenes where monks are constantly bowing down and praying to Buddha and trying to reach Nirvana, transcendental, blah, 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 they're going on this freaking journey to the Buddha head to go get the essence of iron, and they fucking find another Buddha statue to kneel and fucking pray to.
Yes,
and you know what? And they're walking through the fucking desert and and I was thinking of we could really use now another scene where they're praying to Buddha.
Way to be culturally sensitive, Joel.
The fact that they extract juices from a shroom is the first sign that Buddhism isn't all that bad. Alan can back me up on this one.
It isn't all that bad. And so the monk tells him that he can take the essence of iron and it will make him invulnerable, but that after he is done using it, it will come back out of his body through his eyes.
But the way
that happens.
The way they explain it, so they put honey on the mushroom. They wait an undetermined amount of time, and then they scrape the honey off. And then when Hung asks him, "Why do we use honey?" The guy's like, "I don't know. It seems to be attracted to honey."
I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, fuck it. I don't know.
Peanut butter wasn't in the budget.
We were sitting around chewing on chicken
honey,
asses.
peanut butter, gasoline. Fuck it. It's funny. I'll tell you.
We were sitting around chewing on the asses of chickens for a while down in the basement of Buddha's eye socket. Passing around the honey, when all of a sudden we found out it was attracted 1,000 years ago when the last time the magic shroom blossomed.
And plus, not only that, but this tree is on fire. Like, God is going to give them 10 commandments.
Yes! Oh shit, that was gas, not honey, you motherfucking idiot! What the fuck is wrong with you. But I'll tell you what, when that fucking shroom sweat those fucking wonderful juices, I'm like, why the fuck didn't they just fucking immediately eat that shit? Would it like fucking cause the movie to like suddenly shift and it's like a romantic comedy? Because you can't go more demented when you're fucking demented in a movie like this. You go completely the opposite into normal.
They drink the honey and all of a sudden Love Actually is playing.
How did Terms of Endearment enter this movie? I don't understand.
So Hung goes back to the abbot and he talks with his kind of dead body again. And Hung gets pissed off at the abbot and he slaps him across the face, which I found pretty amusing.
Because he lied to the Buddha.
Yeah.
He lied about the whole abstinence thing.
And he ended the first
but
day
honestly,
of Jewish
I don't fucking know why Buddha just like didn't give him like a mulligan. Like, what the fuck, dude?
I thought I was done.
Was Buddha not watching the beginning of the movie? Like, I'm like, you pushed your girlfriend's tits against those glasses. You made me very fucking happy. And so, not to mention that, but when they were in the head cave, there's fucking all kinds of orgy murals on the freaking wall, and the Buddha's right in the fucking middle of it.
Well, whenever you're in the head cave,
he's fucking watching over it.
Seem to be a natural occurrence.
He's watching it over it like some kind of fucking harem lord, you know? Like, yes, this is what I like.
There was literally a fresco, I guess you would call it, on the wall around the whole room of men fucking each other in the ass.
Chained. There was hundreds. Buddha had the best orgies.
Buddha doesn't let his monks have sex because he had all the sex they're ever going to need. That's what it came down to.
And so Hung finds out that he has to go to Kathmandu and get the golden ashes, which are the only way to stop his most recent curse, which is going to kill him in a couple of days if he doesn't get it done.
Note that the abbot said that he was a lama in his previous life, and that his ashes were stored as the golden ashes in the Siddhartha or Buddhist statue there.
Yeah. Talk about the shitty side of the genetic code.
But seriously, that makes me think, though, like, so they said that they were, like, frickin' twin brothers. So, like, he was a fucking... So the abbot was, like, a fucking lama in this, Buddhist temple in Kathmandu, which is probably, like, the frickin'... I don't know, Lollapalooza of Buddhism or something like that.
We do recall it was the
Hung was an alpaca?
Exactly. But the thing is, what was his fucking brother? Was his fucking brother the Uncle Joey to Bob Saget in Full House living in the fucking basement with no goddamn job? Was he just like the freaking disgrace? Because they're still like quite polar opposites, right? You have boxer fucking wonderful titties chick and total not getting his rocks off abbot in this life. What was it like in the previous life? Can you be the complete opposite of a Dalai Lama? Was he freaking Ozzy Osbourne?
He was biting the assholes off a chicken on the stage.
Granted, our protagonist never asks himself these questions.
There was a deep psychological level of this movie.
Wow.
Joel has not taken his Ritalin this evening.
I know. There needs to be a segment called Psychologist Corner with Joel.
So in the plane on the way to Kathmandu, we see that the
I'm
evil...
looking at this movie so differently right now.
Yeah.
Beer goggles.
We see that the evil goddess crocodile lady is flying on the plane too, which I also found pretty funny.
I missed that.
I did too.
That she did have to get on the plane and fly with him. Given that she's like a supernatural being.
Even goddesses have a budget.
Yeah.
Two women who crawl out of the bellies of alligators fly
earlier.
coach or first class.
I don't remember.
It looks like Coach.
It's all
Being a
Coach.
goddess
If it's a Tibetan airline, there's like Coach and Coach Minus.
And so
they're in Coach Minus.
Before he goes to the big temple in Kathmandu to get the ashes, he cuts open his arm and pours in the essence of iron. Yikes!
Hypodermic needle, maybe.
Yeah.
Or
just
drinking
it.
He said, "Keep it inside your body."
He didn't pour it in. He shoved the whole amulet in his arm.
And
No, he didn't. He didn't. He just dropped the drop of freaking mushroom sweat. Sweet. I wish I could have that fucking mushroom sweat.
And you notice
in his arm.
when he cuts his arm open, there's nothing like, blood that comes out of this dude.
It's a good thing
There's
he doesn't
just
have
a
blood in
piece
those
of
veins.
meat
Yeah.
that rises from his arm.
Yeah.
and he stuffs the mushroom sweat on it.
And
If,
so
if the monk that gave him that advice could tell him, like, dude, just fucking eat it. Shove it up your ass if you don't fucking believe you can eat it.
And so I, for one, am not in favor of Eastern medicine, and this is specifically why.
It gave him a glowing kidney stone.
Yeah.
That's what it did.
Then why do you have to cut his arm open? That I'm watching it now. Why do you have to cut his arm open
We
that
don't
much?
know.
But you're missing
We don't
that,
know why
like,
to do it at
prior
all.
to that, he got, like, the freaking tourist go-around of the Kathmandu temple and everything
did.
like that. And, see, what got me, as I said, it was, like, the only underground temple in, like, the East. And I'm like, well, does underground mean it's, like, literally subterranean, or does it mean it's, like, hardcore fringe stuff?
There was some
You
bad
can only find out from a friend.
Plus, the tourist, one of the tourists asked his best question ever. Well, how come people don't steal the ashes that no one guards?
Okay,
And
I
the
wish
lady
you could have
goes,
seen
oh, well.
Alan's body language when he said that.
The tour guide says, well, it's protected by magic spells, we think.
Supernatural powers. And
worst
it's
tour
funny.
guide ever.
Yes.
But I can only feel that, like, once he had said underground, Hung misinterpreted and thought that was fucking hardcore S&M Buddhist shit. And was like, okay, I could drink this shit, or I could fucking slice my forearm open and be the fucking most metal Buddhist on this goddamn fucking planet.
Choices.
Everything after that has been metal Buddhist.
Buddha's lost his mind.
From his freaking outfit to the final confrontation.
And so Hung had found out that he has to break into the temple at sunrise. And when he attempts to go through there, the statues and idols in the temple see him, and they start screeching, "Intruder alert! Intruder alert!" because the temple is apparently the inspiration for the 80s video game Berserk.
See, that's the thing. He comes up to it, and it must seriously. They must like have fucking zero ideas of physical security. It's just this freaking hinged gate that has just a regular chain, like it's just a chain tied around it. On top of the center pickets. He just lifts up the chain over the center pickets and opens the freaking door.
Yeah.
And it sets off the intruder fucking alert signal. And
Yeah,
he's-
they make and it's just like from Star Trek. Intruder alert.
Yeah.
Intruder alert. And so
I
he
thought
puts
it was like the security system installed by the Daleks from friggin'
well,
that's what it
he's
sounded
like. He's like, oh, I don't like these people screaming intruder alert. So he closes the gate, puts the chain back on, and then jumps the gate.
Hops over the fence. Yep. And so he battles the deities that are there guarding the temple, and just as he's about to win, Crocodile Lady shows up and gives him a titty twister.
Yeah.
Well,
also,
Texas Twitty Twister from hell, man.
Yeah.
Also, do you notice that? What was that space movie we watched? Remind me the name.
Galaxy of Terror.
Galaxy of Terror. You notice that the ninja star from the bald guy suddenly makes an appearance during this fight and gets hurled into his chest.
I thought it was broken.
Well, it got remade, remember?
Like the Shiva Guardian throws like 2 fucking spears into his titties, and then the freaking magical essence of iron kidney stone, like you can see it move to each little spear, shoot it out towards the deity, moves the second one, shoots it out. And then the deity freaking falls on the ground. Shiva falls on the ground, and she starts tweaking out like she's having a fucking seizure. Like she just hit her head really hard with a baseball bat.
Why does the sweat from Buddha's eye kill Buddha's guardians? Where's the logic in this?
And why does Buddha sweat out of his eyes?
I don't know.
That seems weird.
He's crying.
He's got a fungal infection in there, obviously.
And so Crocodile Lady summons a giant crocodile, but he beats it to death with what appears to be the "Please wait to be seated" sign from a nearby Chinese restaurant.
It was so comical. Three Stooges again, just throwing all kinds of shit in its mouth and it's just chomping it away.
Yeah.
It was like Jim Henson's middle school project. They fucking just like bought off fucking eBay, but it wasn't invented at the time.
And so, some more cute villains for the movie. She sprinkles fuzzy caterpillars all over Hung, which go all Rathacon brainworms into his ears.
But you're missing it. She summons him towards her. He locks his head between her ankles and starts doing a pussy dance on top of his fucking face.
Pussy
while
dance.
the freaking skeleton claw she summoned are crunching his wrists.
Yeah, she has him laid down.
Can you demonstrate pussy dance?
Well, no, she has him splayed out, and then she sits on him, reverse cowgirl style,
Yes.
and does this crazy dance.
She does like this little pussy
while
Craig.
while all these
I can't.
while all these caterpillars twerk on his stomach.
And the entire time, the caterpillars sound like fucking like a room filled with people, fucking 30 people running on typewriters.
Yeah.
And
So
so
the monkeys in the room writing the script for the sequel.
at about this point, we can see the ashes, the golden ashes, because the sunlight shines into the temple. Because Raiders of the Lost Ark, am I right?
They're digging in the wrong place.
And this apparently causes the crocodile lady to twerk like Miley Cyrus. And then the ancient llama is revived.
Who looks suspiciously like Santa Claus.
That was fucking Santa Claus, man.
It was fucking Santa.
Saint Nick with one of those bells you ring at the door when you're like soliciting money for the Salvation Army in front of an
He
apartment.
is fucking ringing that bell like a motherfucker.
And if you have that fucker ringing that bell, and you want to see him get his ass beat, you watch this movie, and you will be fucking happy.
Salvation Army bell ringers, is it like a prerequisite? Okay. I'm sorry, you look like a person that people would want to give money to, so no.
Well, look, you obviously have to be someone who masturbates so frantically that you built up the wrist strength to wave that bell for 12 hours at a time.
Once I saw this guy, he put his hand, like Moses' hand on the bell, and when people walk in, he'd go ding-a-ding, and he'd mute it and stop ringing it. And I was like, this is the best Salvation Army guy I've ever seen in my fucking life. He's not sitting there staring at you making weird eye contact. Dang 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 dang. Why make eye contact? Stop making eye contact. You making me feel weird.
That's what I love. One of these days, those assholes that are ringing the bell right in my fucking face, I'm just going to be like, hey, what's going on? It's cold out here, isn't it? I'm going to grab his fucking bell, and I'm going to fucking throw it in the parking lot.
I don't put money in the pot. I put, like, the fortunes for fortune cookies in there.
I fucking would just throw the goddamn lint and
You
shitty
just
receipts
threatened to
in
steal
there.
their bell and throw it away like a child with a tantrum.
I would throw it in the parking lot, and I have to choose. Like, you can either forsake your money, or you can go recover your bell.
I love that.
Choose.
At first I thought it was juvenile, but you've given him a beautiful choice. Get your bell, bitch, or save your money.
It's like Sophie's Choice all over again. How can he decide?
Do you fight the Nazis or do you let the Jews burn? Which one can you cope with more when you're 50, 60 years old?
I feel like we need to offend white people just to keep a balance going tonight.
So the ancient llama.
I'm offended.
The ancient llama rips
You're
off.
drunk.
The ancient llama rips off Crocodile Lady's skin, and she's
After slowly descending on a disabled person laser beams through his desk.
And then she does a sexy dance.
She does this like so she fights him. She's like does this crazy ass.
Was this Rita
sexy
Rude
belly.
from Power Rangers?
Yeah,
Rita Rude.
This could clearly be. This was clearly a Power Rangers fight scene, Paul.
Yes, Lord Zed is going to be there.
And so
People suck.
she gives birth right there and there to the three evil magicians who reanimated her because Hong Kong is freaking awesome.
Wait, weren't these the three wise men coming to visit St. Nicholas for the birth of Christ?
Probably.
I'm pretty sure that's how it all ties together.
Oh, that's some beautiful symbolism in this scene.
Frankincense
Christian
and
nerd.
alligator skulls.
This is an homage
Myrrh,
to Christ.
frankincense, and caterpillars. I think those are the three gifts to Christ.
And just like the Nativity, the three demons, or the three wise men, are destroyed and replaced by a weird fuzzy dinosaur that kills Santa.
Yes.
They followed the North Star.
Yes, she is. So she is defeated. Her skin is ripped off, and out of her vagina she squirts fucking amazing blue paint.
Yeah.
And from there, these big blue globules come out, and those are
The worst band ever.
Those are the top 3 Golem Scouts.
Yes.
And they are wrapped in cellophane, and they expose their faces, giving Santa Claus the big F you. Before one guy stabs his fucking chest and carves himself open, falls to the ground. The other ones slit their wrists open and bleed all over the guy. They all fall to the ground, and boom, out pop the freaking itty bitty Chihuahua poodle dinosaurs.
That's what they are, man. That's what they are. You don't need drugs to enjoy this movie, but
yes, you
understand it.
No, you don't.
And so the pipe cleaner dinosaurs
there we go.
shoot the Buddha statue in the eyes with lasers, which in turn blinds Hung.
Santa Claus cries blood, people.
Again, I'm thinking that
children, don't watch this movie.
as a religion, Buddhists would very much benefit from safety goggles. Why have they not?
Always the
this
eyes.
is the third time they've had their eye. This poor bastard has had his eyes shot out.
Yeah,
It's obviously
he really
a
needs
weak
to do
point.
something.
Well, and despite being blind, Hung blows up the worms with some sort of Buddha WMDs.
No, the Santa Claus.
He uses
Santa
the
Claus.
freaking
Okay.
bell.
Yeah, he's got a bell and he's got this thing that
Oh, like
circles the
Salvation
bell.
Army?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
not like
dude.
Salvation Army. Like rings it around like finger on a fucking wine glass, right? And that's what freaking kills him.
And it causes these spinny things that the statues are holding to fling at these creatures.
Yeah,
Okay.
The creature killing
That
it.
makes perfect fucking sense. I'm glad we explained that to our
like
audience.
these like rotational dildos that are just teasingly held in the tippy tip finger and thumb of the Buddhist statues.
How else do you explain this? Really, rotational dildos is about the closest you can get it.
Rotational dildos. That would be like the condom from Seven.
No.
And so the curse is lifted again, and Hung finds himself back at the.
It's not just lifted. We'll
But
see
now
a
it's fucking
resurgence of the
eyeball,
needles
man.
from the fucking spiders.
Yeah.
The straws pop out of his eyes.
Yes, they do.
But unfortunately, they don't suck up any poison, so it wasn't nearly as cool this time.
But sadly, folks, that shot was filmed in reverse motion. They were actually jamming needles through the actor's eyes. He can't see anymore.
Yeah.
They were coming from the back of his head.
That was the
Pretty
very
sure.
that was the very last scene filmed in this movie.
Powerful magnets.
Precursor to the scene in A Clockwork Orange, I think is where it comes down to.
And so he finds himself back at the temple, and that's pretty much the end of the movie, right there.
Yeah.
Thank God.
He just
Roll
freaking-
credits.
Yeah. No,
Well-
seriously. For some reason, he's magically fucking back there in front of the abbot. The abbot, like, freaking, his eyes open amongst being covered in gold, and all the monks freaking come in, chorus line, kneel down and start bowing down to the abbot who's achieved immortality, and Hung just, like, gets up and, like, walks away. He's like, I can fucking pray for the 50th time, or I can go get fucking laid.
He's brother fucking Hung. He is gonna go out and bang him some women up against a glass wall.
Yeah.
He's gonna have a good time.
He just needs to go hang out.
I know we don't normally do.
Oh.
That was lame.
That was pretty bad, but you've been
Oh,
trying to force
Jesus.
that on me all night, so I don't know. Oh, you, Joel. Anyway, so I know we don't normally do this on the show.
Wait, is that joke hung out to dry?
Yeah.
When you haven't eaten in a long time, what do you feel, Gabe? Famished. Oh, a vocab word. No. What's the H
Peckish.
word you would use
A
if you haven't
drumstick
eaten in a
that
long
he shoves
time?
in his maw.
Hungry. Joel.
Hungry.
And you know, what are people from Hungary called?
Hungarian.
There you go.
And so I know we don't normally do this on the show, but I think it's one important thing that we do is that we have a disclaimer that, particularly with regards to this movie, that any similarities to any real people or real life circumstances are purely coincidental.
Oh, I doubt
God
that.
damn
Fuck that.
scary. Highly unlikely. But if it is, please
This was
friend
a
me on Facebook.
documentary.
If you are any of these characters from this film, friend me on Facebook.
I gotta take a piss.
If you jaywalk in front of a Buddhist, he will come over and hammer your ass. That's all that's gonna happen. They want the revenge, motherfucker.
Honestly, Schlockies,
No.
I give
Schlockies.
this movie
Schlockies?
I give this
Fucking good
movie the Joel seal of approval. It was so fucking crazy. This is the closest you can come to being psychotic without actually having schizophrenia. Right?
I give it 4 out of 5 tits pressed against a glass wall.
5? 4, not 4 out of 6.
There were 2 women, and one of them was from Schwarzenegger movie Total Recall. There we go.
One chick with 2 boobs and one with 3.
There you go.
But see, in order to get 4, one chick would have to give either 3 and another one's giving 1.
Mastectomy. It's a sad thing.
Okay.
So
All right.
she was irradiated for the 3 tits anyway.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give this probably like 3 bat skeletons out of 4.
Well, you didn't even watch the whole movie.
75%. That's a C.
I saw most of it.
That's
I give this movie fuck you.
Is that good or bad? How does that? I don't. The scale of is it?
I still don't know.
Is fuck you better than just fuck, or better than just you, and then it turns into fuck you?
Is it like fuck you? I love it. Like, so you're saying fuck you to every, morally right human being? I'm gonna watch this shit.
I want to fuck
be
you a
ashamed.
better rating than just fuck you, or worse?
Are you attracted to it?
Parts of this movie were interesting. Well, parts of this movie made me want to die. So I don't know. It's a mixed bag.
Fuck you makes me think you want to take the DVD and insert the hole around your dick and pull it back and forth rapidly.
That hole is way too big.
But Gabe, what did you think about it?
I love this movie.
How would you
This
rate
is
it?
awesome.
How
We're
would
in
you rate
agreement.
it? I went 4 out of 5 tits pressed against a glass wall. But what is your thoughts on this?
No, don't even think about it, dog. I don't know. I would give this movie 9 out of 10 if I was just doing like a standard 10.
Whoa!
I really like this movie.
This is a great movie.
This movie will change your life.
Like us on SchlockTalk.com because we need love and approval.
I can also add it later.
Please give us love and approval. Paul needs your love to buy alcohol.
Do we want to watch a movie tonight